Hi, welcome to week 4. So for this week, we are going to talk about plant needs. So we're going to compare and contrast your needs and plant needs, and then we're going to see if some of those coincide with each other as well. So a little background information. We're going to talk a little bit about photosynthesis. So this is the process in which plants make their own energy. So it occurs when light, carbon dioxide, and water are converted into energy for the plant. So that's one thing that is really unique about plants is that they make their own food. Like us, we don't make our own food. So that's why they are so important. So I've uploaded a Venn diagram. So if you've never seen what that looks like before, I'll show you. It should look like this. And it's just 2 circles in the middle. And then there's a middle part that overlaps each other. So I want you to take that out. And I want you to first write down all of the things that you need to survive under the first circle that says my needs. So go ahead and pause this and do that, and then we will come back and move on to the next step. Okay, now that you've done your own needs, I want you to then put what you think goes under plant needs. So there is a sheet on the back that says basic plant requirements. So it gives you a bit of an idea of what things plants need to survive, and then it gives you examples underneath that. So there's about 4 things. So it says light, air, water, and some type of growing media, which just means like what type of soil they need, or if it's rocks or something like that. And then it gives you a description. So like underneath light, it says that that's required for photosynthesis, and then either natural or artificial light, and it explains what those are. And then it moves on to air, and then it talks about how plants also need air for photosynthesis, and it's important for our survival and their survival. So there's a hint at maybe one that belongs in this area. And then next they have water, and it says all living things, not just plants, require water to live, is also essential for photosynthesis. And then how they use water to transport minerals and nutrients from the roots to the rest of the plant. And then we have growing media, which is just either soil or non-soil or hydroponics. So that's interesting. First of all, soil, most plants are commonly grown in soil, and that provides certain nutrients, and it's easy for us to water the soil and then for the plants to absorb it. And then soilless media, in greenhouses, plants are commonly grown in soilless medium, and this may be things like moss or perlite, sand, or bark. And then soilless media is effective because it's sterile. And then hydroponics is the practice of growing plants in the absence of soil using just water and nutrients. So you'll see that sometimes as well. And large greenhouses, hydroponics reduce the amount of water needed and wasted by ensuring that all of the water reaches the roots. And then at the very bottom it says when plant needs are met, they are able to carry out the process of photosynthesis. And then it gives you the 3 steps that explains what photosynthesis is. So after you have done that, we will talk about in our next Google Meet what you wrote down for each of those things, and then we can kind of go over together the middle section, things that overlap. So if you thought that maybe one of your needs is the same thing that a plant needs, then that would go in that column. So we can talk about that in our Google Meet. So next, I'm going to talk a little bit about plant hardiness zones. So I've also uploaded this map of the United States, and so this is by the United States Department of Agriculture, and they've developed a map to assist gardeners when selecting plants. So the map shows the average extreme minimum temperature by each zone, and this is using data from 1976 to 2012. And so gardeners use zone information to select plants that will thrive in their particular climate. This is especially important for perennial plants that go in over the winter, so they stay in the ground the whole time, and then they just are dormant in the winter, and then they bloom again in the spring. So you need to know if they are going to completely die in the winter if it's too cold, or if they will survive and then come back when it gets warmer out. So this is just, I think it's really cool because it shows you, you know, how cold it might get. So areas in the very northern parts of the US might not be able to grow the same kinds of plants that maybe we grow here in Iowa, or even that are grown in like Florida or Texas or those areas. If you think about like Florida and Hawaii, those are tropical states, and so they grow different things as well. For an example, like palm trees are grown there, right? And we aren't very good at growing palm trees here, but on the other hand, we grow a lot of corn and soybeans, so those places would not be able to probably grow those things as well. So this is very important if you're also new to gardening, or you moved from a different state and you don't know what the extreme minimum temperatures are. This is a really good thing to look at and to help you decide on that. So then we have the map of just Iowa. And then this just shows the average extreme minimum temperatures just for the state of Iowa, and it shows you all of our 99 counties. And you can go ahead and find where our county is, and then that'll show you what the minimum temperature is for where we live. And then on the back, there are a couple of questions. So the first one is, find the country where you live and place a star on the location of your town. And then it asks you what plant hardiness zone you live in. So that's just the highest and the lowest temperature shown next to the colored box. And then number 2, what is the average annual temperature minimum in Fahrenheit for your zone? And then what part of the state has the coldest temperatures, and what part of the state has the warmest temperatures? So answer those questions, and then we'll also discuss that in our next Google Meet as well. So that is what I have for you for the lesson today. The recipe for this week are frozen yogurt fruit pops. So be sure to check that out as well. The video will be uploaded soon, and you can go ahead and try that one out. It should be pretty tasty. So I will see you in our next Google Hangout. Have a good week.